Hey everyone, welcome back to the Encrypted Capital recap for Tuesday, March 9th. First off, I wanted to talk about our Encrypted Capital newsletter here. We do have the ability for you guys to sign up for free emails. You guys will get free emails 5 days a week from us. You also get some discounts on some merchandise. We also sell ledgers and we sell these really cool seed plates. And if you guys want to really help support the channel, you guys can go ahead and you can subscribe to our paid newsletter, which is $95 a month. And inside that newsletter, we're going to go over some of our calls. We mentioned over here we had Telcoin call back over in November 25th. This is back before it really blasted off here. You can see we got some other really good content in here. We talked about the grayscale portfolio. And then here were our calls. So Tel was down 70% at this time, trading at 00016. And now we are sitting at 0044. So I believe that's roughly 3,300% on your money when we were talking about that back then. So if you guys want access to some of those calls, what we're doing in our portfolio, we're going to update you guys several times a week on that. So I think that's a really good deal. It's $95 a month, or if you wanted to pay up front, it's $7.95 for the year. So you guys basically get 3.5 months free. If you want to do that, help support the channel. And also, I want to show you guys another newsletter. We were talking about Uniswap back when it was $5.15. Right now, I believe it's trading at roughly $33, I believe. Yeah, so Uniswap is trading at $33. So that would have been 6x your money. So if you guys want to get access to some of these projects that we're looking at, some of the research that we're doing, we're really not going to be focused too much on giving you guys calls on when to buy or when to sell, but we will tell you the coins that we're looking at, how we're building our positions, when we're entering some of our positions, and hopefully can help you guys get some of those crazy gains. So if you want something like 3,300%, or at least the ability to find some of these projects before they really take off, please consider subscribing to our newsletter. And last but not least, we got our Encrypted Capital Instagram. We only got 82 followers, so if you guys can go ahead and give us a follow on that, that's free. We got really cool content. We just gave away our Tron price prediction the other day. We were looking at $3.50 with our moon target over here. So check that out. I think that's really cool. We got a lot of good content coming for you guys. We're trying to provide you guys with as much value as possible. And with that being said, let's get right into Telcoin. It's starting to make its move here. It looks like it just broke out of that triangle here, trading at 0.0044 cents. So just under half a penny here. I do anticipate us making a move up to 1 cent here shortly. I don't know if we're going to end up getting a pullback here in Bitcoin. It's trading at roughly 54,000 right now, and clearly the altcoins are going to be very dependent upon what happens with Bitcoin. So got our eye on that. Obviously, we've already had our position set from way down here. Talking about these accumulation ranges when we were talking about Telcoin way back in November. It was very easy for us to identify. When things start going really flat here. This is exactly what you want to look for. So let me zoom in a little bit here. So yeah, this is the area we were talking about right in here, guys. You want to find these projects when they're super flat, and that's exactly what we did. Very short, very tight trading range here. And then sure enough, we blasted to the upside. Now, we did not forecast that we were going to do 3,300%, but when you got a project as good as Telcoin, these things definitely are possible. And so I wanted to talk a little bit more about Telcoin, kind of where we're sitting, where we're at here. And so I pulled up the chart on CoinMarketCap, and CoinMarketCap is really cool because they give you some nice statistics on exactly where the coin's been and possibly where it could be going if you guys can tie these things together here. So as you guys know, and we've talked about before, Telcoin is essentially trying to help the unbanked population send money via their mobile phone from one person to another. So if I want to send money to somebody in India, I can do that via my mobile phone via the Telcoin app, which they just released. I believe it was on February 3rd in the Android and Apple store. And so basically, say goodbye to MoneyGram, say goodbye to those crazy huge fees. You're able to send this money to anybody all over the world, and you don't need a bank account. So I think that's really cool. And the nice thing that Telcoin did was, they essentially gave a lot of their tokens or some of their tokens to these telecom providers to incentivize them to use that and introduce Telcoin to their users and subscribers. And because they've done that, by default, these telecom providers already have KYC in place. So know your customer is very, very important when you're looking to start working with regulators. And so I think they've really hit it on the head here, and they're targeting the international remittance portion of it, almost like how XRP is doing with international cross-border settlements. Although they're more or less handling really big volumes of money, whereas Telcoin, they're going to be handling just the day-to-day peer-to-peer transactions for people that don't have bank accounts. So, solving a real world use case, those are the types of projects that you guys definitely want to get into. And those are the types of projects that we're trying to find and introduce you guys to in our newsletters. So, there's so many projects out there, it can be kind of hard to weed through them all. So we're going to try and find the best ones. And we've already found some really good ones. I'm very excited for some of the stuff that we're going to be releasing here in the next couple of weeks with some of the projects that we found, and more importantly, the people and potentially companies behind them. So I did find this tweet here from Dr. Evil Crypto. I think this was a retweet, but he was talking about Telcoin being one of the top 10 most mentioned cryptos on Twitter, just because of the exponential gains that it's had recently. And now that it looks like it's finally starting to go ahead and make its move here. And what I did here was I also found from Dr. Evil of Crypto on his Twitter feed was Paul Nooner was speaking down in Nebraska. And I wanted to play this clip for you guys here so you guys can kind of hear his methodology and where he kind of sees Telcoin going, and how they're already working with the regulators, and how they're trying to actually move, I think, one of their headquarters into Nebraska. So let's go ahead. We'll take a listen here real quick so you guys can get an idea of exactly what you guys can expect over from this company over here in the next year or two. So let's take a look.
And I told my old friend and college roommate, Senator Flood, that I was considering applying for the new digital asset charter in Wyoming. Senator Flood went to great effort to convince me to consider Nebraska. Even though it might take a longer time, it would pay off. And I made that commitment to Senator Flood that if Nebraska can pass legislation this year to enact a similar charter in Nebraska, Telcoin will move its headquarters to Norfolk, Nebraska. I assure you that I plan to keep this promise to my old and dear friend. In fact, we've already hired our first software engineer in Norfolk just last week. I've also assured Senator Flood that Telcoin is unique in our industry in our commitment to a compliance-first approach that is seeking out regulation in the United States in a constructive partnership with a forward-thinking regulator like the Nebraska Department of Banking and Finance.
All right, so you basically heard him talking about Telcoin essentially in front of the U.S. government, and kind of getting into the creation of the digital banks, and kind of what they want to do as far as working with the regulators go. And that's going to be so important for any project in this space to succeed, is they really need to have a grip on working with these regulators and essentially abiding by all the rules and regulations. And as mentioned before, the fact that they are working with the telecom providers that already have such a huge customer base and now are incentivized to let their customers use Telcoin. Number one, because they already have probably such a huge supply and they want the token to succeed. But obviously, they are also allowing the unbanked population to send currency from one person to another. And that's solving a really huge problem and a really big bottleneck, with all the fees that are getting charged from somebody like MoneyGram. If you can cut those down drastically and make those payments almost instant, I think that this project could be, in my opinion, one of the next XRPs where it goes crazy and does an essential 10,000% gain or more. We've already seen 3,000 of that percent come through just since November. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my eye on this. And I wanted to also pull up Paul Nooner here, kind of get into a little bit about him. I've got his LinkedIn here. So obviously he's the co-founder and CEO at Telcoin. It says he's got 2 decades of experience as a tech entrepreneur in the telecom space. He did find Mobius in 2006, and that provides fraud management services for mobile networks, and Sedona in 2018, the next generation of telecom fraud management focused on securing sovereign mobile financial services. So this gentleman has already kind of been around for quite a while. You're talking about 2 decades of experience. And not only that, the company that he was working for when he founded Mobius, they were essentially working for fraud management services. And so that being such a huge issue in the telecom industry in general, and now you're going ahead and you're working with a company like Telcoin, or he founded Telcoin. And so essentially it's kind of like the best of both worlds. You have somebody coming from the fraud management, mobile networks, and now he has pivoted into a cryptocurrency that can really solve a huge problem, help the unbanked citizens send money from one country to another without paying huge fees. And so I foresee this being probably one of the biggest projects of 2021, in my opinion. This could even, like I said, this is probably going to be right up there with XRP, or even something like a Tron as far as the percentage gains goes. I mean, Tron did about 30,000% gain. It wouldn't surprise me if this coin ended up doing a 10x from where it currently is now, which would put it roughly at about 4 cents, and that would bring you right to those crazy gains that we saw in Tron and even in XRP. So my price prediction for Tel could definitely be upwards of, you know, 5 to 10 cents. I would say would probably be pretty safe and conservative. And I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing, something worth $1 or more in the future, considering that the Telcoin in the mobile app, it's only supposed to go over 2 decimal places. So it's not like your normal cryptocurrency where it's going to be trading, 7 decimal places over. This is supposed to be treated like money. So with that being said, I think that we'll go ahead and wrap it up for this edition of the Encrypted Capital recap on Telcoin. If you guys like Telcoin and you want to get some more of this content, please go ahead, like and share the video. Definitely drop us a comment. Let us know your price predictions for Telcoin, and we will catch you all in the next video.